Hey, Christina. Okay, so this is a pretty good first attempt at lighting a room in solving the problems of available light, the problems that available light offer with your lighting tools. So I'm looking at your equipment shot, and I'm surprised to see so little equipment there. I'm surprised that you're only using two hard lights without diffusers, no reflectors, no bounce, no anything else. That seems like that just seems like not enough, not enough to me. I would have expected to see a lot more lighting equipment. I would have expected to see flags, to see reflectors and bounce. I would have expected to see a lot more lighting in there. For instance, here, I know you have one light kind of sort of close to wherever the camera is standing, and that one light maybe off camera right a little bit. That light is casting some shadows, that are problematic, and these could have been solved just by leaning a big piece of white board up against anything basically and letting it act as a bounce, and it would have bounced light back in there, and we wouldn't have these strange blue shadows that are getting cast by your warm yellow tungsten light. And then here, this actually, it's not too bad. I guess unless your sister's real persnickety, I would have asked her to move this chair and just put it over here to add a little bit of compositional balance to the room. Even though that's not how it's naturally set up, I think it probably would have helped a lot. It's very strange to be looking at the back of a chair. You could have even just moved your camera over to here, and this would have probably worked out a little bit better, I think. It's hard for me to tell. That being said, good choice on your focal length lens, because that helps a lot in widening out the room and giving us a sense of bigger space. Because, of course, the short focal length lens expands space, so it makes these things feel a little bit closer than they really are, and these things feel a little bit further away than they really are. So that works out well. So what your lights are doing, I believe if I understood your light setup correctly, you've got one camera right kind of high and one camera left kind of high, slightly behind you or parallel with your shoulders wherever you're standing. And what that's doing is it's casting some haunting shadows. Like here, this lamp is casting this very big shadow on that far wall, and then the TV is casting this shadow right here on the far wall. Let's go to your, yes. That is definitely coming from your lights. So, things that you could have done to avoid these sort of haunty, spooky shadows. Moved the lights a little bit more toward you so that the shadows that were being cast were kind of, camouflaged in more textured material. This shadow could have just gotten cast outside that door. You wouldn't have even seen it. So that's one thing that you could have done. Two, really big diffusion material, just like basically hanging sheets of white sheets or white nylon in front of your lights to effectively like super duper increase the size of the lights would have helped to soften the shadows at the very least. Remember, the hardness or softness of a shadow has a lot to do with the size of your light source relative to your subject. If your light source is small relative to your subject, like here, you're going to be casting very hard shadows. So what you would have wanted to do is just, on a stand or something, just put something really big and something that's not going to change your white balance too much, like basically just a white sheet or a white piece of nylon in front of your light. Make your light a lot bigger. You'd have to compensate for that because you're putting something in front of your light. You have to compensate with much more exposure. But here, at 1/30th of a second, you still have room for plenty of exposure because you're shooting things that are perfectly still and you're using a tripod. And so, you could have shot this for, 4 seconds and you've been fine. I think, though, so that's my feedback. I'm trying to make these movies quick because I would like a Saturday. But I do think, though, let me say, I do think that the quality of your shot, where you're fixing the light, where you're solving the problems of the light with your tungsten lights, is far better than the quality of this light photographically. This is not nearly as attractive as this is. I'm just trying to help you with these monster shadow problems. So remember, to solve monster shadow problems, there's one there too. You just need to really play with the angles of your lights until the shadows are at least concealed by something, or they're falling on something that makes them far less obvious, or you need to really, really soften them by making like door-sized diffusers. You can, just like I said, you can hang a sheet over just about anything, or even just put your camera on timer and hold a sheet there yourself. Or you can make big frames out of PVC pipe or something like that and just put white material on top of it, and then there you go. That's what I do. All right. Otherwise, pretty good. Let's look at your other compositions. I think a lot of really nice shots here, actually. A lot of really beautiful angles. for this room. That's why I tell you, you really do have a lot of beautiful angles for this room. That's why it surprised me that you chose this shot and gave us the back of a large chair to look at. I found that really surprising. I was surprised that you did that. Because so many of these other shots are just so much more elegant, you know, like, and I believe this is, like this one, this is a really nice shot, and I believe that's you solving the problem with your lights there. I don't think that's just available light. And I think that because these lights seem to be off. Yes, yes, because there's the haunting shadow right there. Yes, so like this is a better composition, I would say. And then there's a lot of shots of the available light, which is fine. That's what we wanted. And you really do a great job solving the problem, especially here in the kitchen. You know, and just a little bit of bounce light back into those shadows, and bam, you would have had a really nice shot. So you're there, you know, you're getting there. Really nice first shot with solving these sorts of problems. This is probably one of our most technically difficult assignments by far, I think. So I think this is a really good first attempt here, and just keep on working at it. And you know, my big advice though, based on looking at your equipment shots, is more equipment, please. Just keep on bringing it in wheelbarrows and trying to use it. Okay, thanks, Christina.